Okay, here we have the Golf Clash Easter Tournament qualifying round, hole number 4, rookie division. Now this is kind of a tricky par 4, and we're going to have two different kinds of rough bumps here. With the drive, we're going to start with Rocket. You have Rocket 10 and Katana loaded. And then eventually that blue ring is going to be right on the rough line there at max rest. And I'm going to use 2.5 left spin and a full top spin, which is just under 3.5. And you see how the second bounce is in the rough and then trails out into that little fairway patch there. So the adjustment is 25% plus max. And we're going to try to use just normal power, have the ball perfectly centered. We don't want to roll out too far. If we roll out too far, that might not leave us with enough room to adjust on the second shot. So you see there where it hits the rough, and that slows it down so it can roll out. And obviously, you generally don't want your ball to end up in the rough, but that doesn't mean that landing in the rough cannot be very useful, exactly because it does slow your ball down like that. So for the second shot is going to also be a rough bump, but it's going to be a first bounce rough bump, meaning we're going to land in the rough. And so here you see there I'm at minimum distance with my Viper. And the adjustment here is kind of uphill, so that means the ball is going to be in the air for a little bit less, so it's minus 5%, and I'm just using the minimum numbers. And I went ahead and used about 1.5 backspin here. I think you could go closer to almost 2, because with the tailwind here, it's going to help push it out. It's kind of a weird shaped green, so it can make chipping and putting a little awkward. So anything you can do to be close to the pin is good. You see I mostly have the red centered in between the bunker and the rough there. That gives me a little room for a great hit. So I'm going to make my adjustment and go ahead and roll out there. So that's not too bad of a putt. And my opponent did not play, he played more to the left and ended up on the green, but far down to the left, and had an unmakeably long putt. So I was sort of considering that I won the chest. I was thinking about the next hole. And I went to make my putt, having already marked myself down for a birdie and congratulated myself on winning my 4th chest in 4 matches. You can guess what happens here. And this is what I mean about the green being tricky. It's a fairly short putt, but I've got a big curve here. And it looks like I'm actually on the outer left edge there. I hit great left. And just like that, boom, I got myself a par. So it's just good advice to avoid distractions when you're playing tourney. Even distractions of your own making, like thinking about making videos about playing tourney and how you should avoid distractions. We're still going to qualify on to the next hole. And it's always good to learn a valuable lesson. I'm going to be happy about that.